a cross-college program. We have a huge variety of stakeholders. So, of course, we work a lot together with our students, but we also have people to think about in every single department, the vice provost for education, registry, library, and so on. Very much every type of person in college. So for us, it's particularly important to think about who our stakeholders are and how we need to engage with each of them. And having had a good think about this within the course that I took with Advantage, I found there's a much more structured way of approaching this. And it's been particularly helpful for us when we've been wanting to implement really big new ideas, that I can think about what sort of influence each of my stakeholders has, and also what kind of attitude they start with when we propose a new module. Are they already on side, or should we be influencing them and trying to get them on side? If you think about it in that way, you can really think about the strategy you want to take to engage each of them appropriately.
Yeah, I became the head of department of neuroscience education at King's College earlier this year. And around that time, I embarked on the Enhancing Program Leadership program because it seemed like a good thing to do at the time. One of the things that I am planning to undertake is a big review of the program. And one of the aspects that the EPL program has opened my eyes to is the engagement of stakeholders. We recently had a 6-year program review, and I invited student representatives along to that provided feedback on how the program is running. And I'm planning to engage the same group of students in our bigger program, upcoming program review. Now, there was a strong focus on engaging students as stakeholders on the EPL program, but of course there are also other stakeholders, and another group of stakeholders that I would like to involve are future employers when we redesign the BSc Neuroscience program at King's.
Yes, that's something that really resonated with me, having students as partners and creating these links, but also just showing the potential of really building a strong relationships with the student. And just a few weeks ago, we had an issue with one of the modules, and kind of students' complaint came about, and we have a group of student reps, and instead of just having these traditional meeting, we just listen to the complaint and sometimes become a little bit defensive, maybe, and try to answer these complaints. We work together, so I used actually the same examples in practice that we use during the course, having smaller groups, going into a bit of a brainstorming, using some of the tools, coming back and discussing that and coming with solutions together. And it worked really, really well. It almost made that meeting that could have been a bit difficult actually quite fun, because the students were much more involved, and we came up with solutions though that we could transform into actions. So it's been really, really positive, and I think that's something I wouldn't have done without the course.
Well, in terms of the master's degree that we're developing at Leeds, it's a multi-faculty master's program anyway, and so you've got predominantly 2 faculties involved, but also schools from other faculties producing modules, and also being designed by something called the Digital Education Service. So you've got lots of different people interacting to try and create this course. And of course, in academia, you don't necessarily have a very strict hierarchy of people knowing exactly who's got control over each person. So you do need to develop that in the sort of background of working towards the common group in this multi-stakeholder way, which is another thing why the program was useful, being able to maybe put yourself in their positions, think about all the things that potentially could go wrong, and when things do go wrong, how you could turn those into actually improving the program many times.
We have something which is called Student Staff Forum. It takes place on a regular basis, almost every month, and we sit down with students and actually the program and course reps, and we speak about all the topics that has, for example, highlighted in students' feedback in terms of the access to the IT system, in terms of the education quality and this sort of stuff. And it's a very nice opportunity for us to work with students as partner and receive their feedback to take for the programs to improve them.
Yes, well, what we did was after we reflected on the materials together, because of course the materials, there's lots of them and they're really engaging. And we put together workshops where we invited other program leaders in the faculty to come to the workshops. And one of them was working with stakeholders. But what we did was we curated just a few of the resources and the activities from the program and combined them with inviting, well, we call them expert practitioners from within the faculty to work with us in the workshop. So for example, for engaging with stakeholders, we invited one of our professors from sociology who's really good at working with students, and she did a talk about engaging with students and different stakeholders for our program leaders. And then we reflected on that talk and looked at the link between that and some of the key materials that came in the training program and the ideas. So we took particular theoretical elements from the course and combined them with sort of internal expertise that we've got within the faculty.